The week's episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful felt driven by an unnecessary sense of urgency, conveyed to the audience as clarity. The entire week was marred by characters insisting they knew exactly what was best for others, only to prove the opposite. Every big decision was framed as an act of love or protection. However, that didn't translate well to the viewing audience. Whether it was a son masquerading as a protector while breaking his father's heart or a deliberate exclusion that made an uncomfortable situation even worse, the pattern was clear. Why is it so difficult to write a romance on this show? There are two speeds. Either snail pace, which Daphne Muriel Hilaire and Carter Lawrence St. Victor are currently on, or a speed race to get married like Brooke, Catherine Kelly Lang and Ridge Thorsten Kay, Hope Annika Knoll and Liam Scott Clifton, and soon-to-be Bill Don Diamont and Katie Heather Tom. What's the rush? The second Hope and Liam decided to get back together, he was on bended knee, ready to pledge his life to her. Their wedding was this week, and the entire thing seemed to be solely to put a smile on their daughter's face. There was a noticeable focus on doing it for bait's sake and somewhat crickets about their epic love story. Bill did the exact same thing in the closing moments of Friday's episode. He and Katie have only been back together for the tiniest sliver of time, but there he was proposing to her. Spoilers indicate that Bill is not only proposing, but he's set to ambush her with an impromptu wedding as well. Why does this have to be the norm? It should be completely acceptable for a couple to get back together and learn to love each other again without having an insatiable need to wed. Bill's speed mirrored Liam's, and hopefully the impulsive path for each couple doesn't lead to their undoing. The unions feel less like happily ever after and more like a fast track to history repeating itself. Bill and Katie have always had obstacles in their way, and he's only going to stay a changed man for so long. For Hope and Liam, Thomas, Matthew Atkinson returned to Forrester could destroy their bliss before the ink on their marriage license is even dry. Ridge broke Eric's John McCook heart. He tore it into a million pieces and embarrassed him in front of his entire family. Eric had his heart set on returning to the design team and putting out another couture line. However, Ridge forced him out and it was painful to watch. Eric having a last-minute chance to reflect and come around to his ousting doesn't change the fact that Ridge could have handled the situation much better than he did. It also boggles the mind that Steffi, Jacqueline McKinswood, is fully aware of Eric's secret collection, yet she chose to remain silent and let Eric be shut out. On the other side of town, besides Ridge and Eric, another face that didn't appear at the wedding was Sheila's Kimberlyn Brown. She was purposely excluded because a child wedding officiant opted for her not to attend. Hope and Deke Harrison Cohn blast their father regularly for taking Sheila back because of her worst mistakes. However, he's made it clear that he wants to be with her. He chose her. Not only do they not respect his decisions, but they're actively taking steps to drive a new wedge between them by leaving her off the guest list. Sheila is on the verge of a complete breakdown, and it's entirely because no matter what she does, she's never accepted. Nobody in Los Angeles wants her to revert to her former ways, but that doesn't stop them from inching her closer and closer to her previous persona. There's nothing Sheila can do that will make Deacon's children and everyone else change their minds, so at this point, she might as well become acquainted with her dark side and make their lives miserable. Catch all new episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful weekdays on CBS and Paramount+.